What's up guys, it's Red back once again, and from the title of the video you see what we are talking about today. Are we underestimating Blizzard and the likelihood of an Overwatch character coming to Smash Ultimate? Now I'm sure a lot of people are right out of the gate thinking there's no way that's going to happen. And to be fair, I don't blame you if you have that mindset, but let's try to just theory craft and see if it makes any sense for either of the parties involved. So what would need to happen for an Overwatch character to get into Smash Bros? Well, the obvious thing is an Overwatch 2 Switch port. It's hard to imagine a world where an Overwatch character gets in without that first happening. It would be incredibly strange. So what do we know about a possible Overwatch to Nintendo Switch port? Well, let's travel back a bit in time to August of this year. GameSpot got to catch up and have an interview with Pete Stillwell, the senior producer for Diablo 3. Now, why is that important? Well, Diablo 3 has actually been ported to the Switch this year, a big step for establishing that Blizzard and Nintendo Switch connection. Now, here's what Pete said about a possible Overwatch to Switch port. Anything is within the realm of possibility. Our team was given the task to work on this. If Overwatch developer Team 4 picks up that endeavor, that's on them. As of right now, Diablo is our only focus on Switch. When asked if he thinks Overwatch could run on Switch, Stillwell said, yes, it is feasible. Now this is a big deal to me, as this guy is literally the senior producer for Diablo 3, meaning he's had his fair share of tinkering around with the Switch's hardware and its capabilities. And that's a big deal, because the biggest reason why people thought an Overwatch to Switch port just simply wasn't possible was due to the Switch not being able to handle the game and play it properly. Overwatch can be a graphically intense game, visual effects and hardcore shadowing all over the place with 12 characters on screen battling at once. So most people thought it was too intense for the Switch to handle. But if the senior producer for Diablo thinks it's possible, I'm inclined to go with that guy, since he would have had more knowledge on the matter than anyone else clamoring on the online forums. As I said, he's worked with the console firsthand. Now, August was a couple of months ago, but that's not the last we have heard on this matter actually. BlizzCon, Blizzard's annual convention of all things Blizzard, just happened this month. There, Jeff Kaplan, who is the game director of Overwatch and pretty much the face of the series behind the scenes, said that he was very open-minded about bringing Overwatch to the Switch. He went further to say, "Our philosophy has always been we want as many players playing Overwatch as possible, and we want to reach as many possible Overwatch players as there are out there. We will always explore a platform if we think we could make it viable, both the technology and the business relationship. We would love to do it. We don't have anything to announce or any plans with Nintendo or Switch at this time, but it's something we're very open-minded about." Now, Kaplan has also been on the record for praising Nintendo and his love for the Switch in the recent past as well, saying that he is a huge Nintendo fan. So again, this has been extremely recent news just this month in terms of BlizzCon. Jeff's words are pretty strongly in support of wanting to make the move a reality. It's again, as he said, no confirmation that anything is happening, but the sparks seem to be there, and for all we know they could already be discussing the terms behind the scenes. Now, we've established at the very least it seems possible in terms of the hardware, since we had a quote from the senior producer, and Jeff, the director of the game, seems to be on board as well. But would Nintendo want to go for something like this? Would they care about an Overwatch to Switch port? And I think the obvious answer is yes. I think it could be extremely beneficial for Nintendo, and I think they would view it in the same way. They've already dabbled in porting a lot of games to the Switch as it is now from the third-party companies like Blizzard and Bethesda. I'm sure they've seen the benefits that it brings to them already, and a big one for them was Fortnite. I was pretty surprised when I saw it getting a Switch port, but it has done extremely well for itself so far. In just 24 hours after being released, over 2 million Nintendo Switch users had downloaded the game to their console, and as of now, 6 months later, Fortnite has been downloaded to almost half of all Nintendo Switch consoles, meaning Fortnite may have around 10 million players on the Switch. That's pretty massive, and a huge win for both companies involved. Now, it's worth noting that Fortnite and Overwatch are obviously different, as Fortnite is free to play and Overwatch would almost without a doubt have to be purchased. So naturally the player base would not be anywhere close to Fortnite's, but it has to add some confidence seeing the game thrive so well, and should make both Nintendo and Blizzard feel comfortable pushing forward to a deal when Nintendo can show them these numbers as validation that hey, our ports are thriving and doing well. So we've established that a Blizzard-Nintendo relationship is currently in good shape. They worked with each other on Diablo 3 and have had nothing but good things to say about each other the entire time. We've established that Nintendo has been porting quite a few third-party games onto the Switch. And we've established that Overwatch to the Switch seems feasible. So would an Overwatch to Switch port guarantee a Smash Bros. Ultimate character slot in the DLC pack? Guarantee is too strong of a word, but I think if this port is indeed happening within the next year, then a character is extremely likely. Overwatch is a game that is out on all other major consoles and on PC and has been so for 2 years now. If it were to come to the Switch now, it would need some sort of boost marketing wise to get players interested and going out of their way to purchase it. As we said earlier, Overwatch most likely isn't going to be free like Fortnite was. It won't have that same advantage of grabbing a player base because it's free. Throwing in a character to Smash Bros. Ultimate is a great way to get some promo material for their game. Ultimate is going to probably break records for the Switch. Personally, I'm expecting it to outsell both Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. I think this game is going to be that big. If an Overwatch character got into Smash Ultimate, those are immediately millions of eyes that will have access to learning about a character they might be seeing for the first time. You can get them invested into Overwatch through Smash Bros. And try to convert some of the player base over to Overwatch on Switch as well. It would be an incredibly effective strategy that I think worked well for a character like Bayonetta. So many people are talking about that character for better or for worse because of her inclusion into Smash 4. I'm certain that Bayonetta 3 sales will easily surpass the previous game's sales, in part to the boost that she received from Smash Bros. An Overwatch inclusion would probably have the same or at least a similar effect on the Overwatch Switch sales. Now as for what character it could possibly be, I don't think there's really much of a debate. Tracer is plastered everywhere on all of Overwatch merchandise. I think she's pretty much the de facto mascot for the game when she's literally on the cover of the box and was one of the first characters' designs to be revealed. Her popularity is insanely high in the Overwatch community due to her rapid fire playstyle and quirky yet spunky attitude. Now how she would fit into Smash Bros, I'm not entirely sure. She as a character has a few tools that could be utilized, but I could see her being a bit challenging for Sakurai and team to work out. She uses dual pistols as her primary fire and also has access to a pulse grenade that gives off an explosion. However, Tracer's main gimmick is speed. She is able to utilize short bursts of speed to catapult her into whatever direction she chooses. She gets 3 bursts that are constantly refreshing over time, so you have variety with how you want to use them, and she also has the ability to rewind herself and her position. Some of these abilities I can see being a bit challenging to work into Smash Bros, but Sakurai is, as we know, incredibly creative, and if there's anyone out there who can probably cram all of this into a moveset and somehow make it work, I'm sure he's the one to be able to pull it off. Now personally, I would think a character like Genji would probably be more suited to fit inside of Smash Bros moveset wise. He has a sword, he throws shuriken, he has a reflect which would essentially act as a counter in Smash. He seems like he would be better suited to join, but I'm not sure if Blizzard would elect to choose anyone over Tracer, but Genji is also extremely popular, so it's definitely still a possibility. Now how likely is all of this to happen? I'm not betting on it with my life or anything like that. It's a very touch and go process that would 100% require an Overwatch to Switch port within the next year, otherwise it's most likely dead in the water. But I can see this as being a dark horse candidate that no one would see coming. Again, it makes sense for both parties involved to include a character in Smash if there is indeed an Overwatch port. I see it being hard for Nintendo to pass up that opportunity to get that free marketing, and if Blizzard and the Overwatch team has agreed to come to the Switch in the first place, then they'd almost certainly be on board with the free publicity that a Smash character would bring them. Now I would be very curious to see the reaction of people if this were to happen, because I'm not exactly sure what the reception would look like for an Overwatch character in Smash Ultimate. But the thing with this blind fighters pass is it allows Nintendo to work on things like this if they want to. They've secured so much money already from the pass that I'm sure they're feeling extremely confident in all of their DLC choices either way. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out. But guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know down in the comments below how you would feel if an Overwatch character came to Smash and if you think it's possible. My Discord server is open for anyone who wants to join. The link is in the description below. My previous videos are right there if you want to check some of them out. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on for more future content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.